everybody, and welcome to another Listen Along. I am your host, William. I'm also the drummer for Glass Beach, and today I am joined by the entirety of Nightlife. Say hi, Nightlife.
Hi.
What up?
You can't see them per usual, but you can hear them. I'll be keeping them in the dark for the remainder of the intro, as I usually do for Lord knows why. If you've never been here before, what we do here is listen to the entirety of an album or EP or anything from start to finish and basically do album commentary. So the band themselves and myself will be talking the entire time. The music will not be played live on stream. So you will have to pull up a streaming provider of your choice, and I'll end up doing a countdown and we'll sync up from there. I have done a lot of these in the past. I've had like Origami Angel, Pink Shift, Cheek Face, and Jimmy Dogleg, tons of people on. Wow. You can find all of that in a playlist, and the link for that is bit.ly/listen along YT, and that's a capital L, capital A, and a capital YT. bit.ly/listen along YT, capital L, capital A, capital YT. You can type that in the chat or find or whatever. That's a playlist for everything I've done. I mean, I think this is episode 21. I think. Yeah. But a lot of episodes. It's great. And everyone's been cool. I feel very fortunate to be in a position where I can link up with all of my peers and have them listen to these albums and stuff that I love with them. So it's cool. And hopefully you enjoy this. Let's see here. I do want to talk a little bit. Glass Beach is going on tour. So let's see if I can get that image up right now. We are going to Los Angeles, Phoenix, Odessa, Dallas, Austin, Jacksonville, Atlanta, Washington, D.C., Philadelphia again for a second day, Brooklyn, Columbus, Detroit, Chicago, Minneapolis, and Denver. That's all happening in November, and just the Denver show is on December 1st. So starting on the 7th of November in Los Angeles and going to the 1st of December in Denver, that whole tour, we are touring with Proper and with Home Is Where. Super stoked for that. We've announced some of the openers so far. In Philadelphia on the first day, we're playing with Harmony Woods, and we're playing with Awe as well in Chicago, I believe. I'm trying to remember all. Yeah, but check that out. ! Tour in the chat will bring you to the links to all of the tickets. So if you want to see Glass Beach play live, I would encourage you. I believe all these shows are going to be vaccination, proof of vaccination and or negative COVID test, and they're going to be mask mandatory. So do that stuff. And also, if all things go according to plan, which we'll see, apparently a booster shot for COVID-19 is going to be available for all Americans on September 20th. Wow. And that's supposed to pretty vastly increase defense against the Delta variant. So I would encourage you to get that as well when it becomes available. It's actually a good time for it because you'll be able to get it, and you will be the 2-week afterwards period for the inoculation to take effect will be right about when we would kind of start going on tour. So I encourage you, do those things, keep yourself safe, and also keep the people who are touring that you want to see safe as well, and the other people that are going to be at the venues. So with all of that, let me remove this just so you can get a better look at that. That's all the dates. We have sold out the second Philadelphia date. We sold out Brooklyn, and we sold out Washington, D.C. So sorry if you didn't get tickets yet. Maybe next time we'll see you again. I promise we're trying. Okay, cool. I'm going to say hi to some people in the chat here. We got Dead Roses. Yeah, Dead Roses says, let's go. We got Azure Void says, woo. Jacob Village is here again. The EP is so good. Happy to be here, says Jacob Village. Azure Void said, looking forward to hearing the EP for the first time. Hell yeah.
Oh, wow.
Hell yeah.
That's going to be so exciting.
Yes.
Celio99 says, just picked up my tickets, ! Tour. Thank you so much. That's awesome. Oh, somebody did scam someone with tickets recently. They reached out to us on Instagram. That happened. So be careful. I know you might really want to see us, and I'm sorry if you missed the chance to get the tickets, but I would rather you not lose your money or anything like that. So be careful. That was on our Instagram. Here's an image. So first, usually I would visit the band's website, Bandcamp. I think I will spend a little bit of time on the Bandcamp. I do have it pulled up, but I don't have it framed properly because like all three of you are here, so it's going to be weird. I encourage you purchase the album digitally. Do you have physical yet?
Not yet, but there's going to be a limited run of cassette tapes every so often as well.
Ooh, who are you doing that through?
Just actually a local friend here in Baltimore.
Oh, awesome. Do you want to give them a shout out or?
Yeah, it's our friend Steven Hartka. They're from hereby. They DJ in the area and they do a bunch of cassettes for local bands, DIY bands. It's very sick.
That's awesome. I fucking love that. And then, like I said, purchase the album digitally. I, at the very least, follow them on their social media and whatever you use to listen to music, whether it be the Green Music app or the Fruit with a Bite taken out of it or whatever. Follow the bands that you like on there as well, because that stuff in a business sense unfortunately matters, but it's also a great way to keep up on if they release new stuff or if they have other things going on. Like Anjimily released new music about a month ago or something, and I didn't see anything posted about it or anything, and then I opened my Green Music app and it was like, hey, did you know that Anjimily released a new song? And I was like, oh shit, no I didn't. That's awesome. So please, if you support the artist on this show, in turn, that supports me if you think about it, but not too hard. And then after that, we're going to open a streaming service. I'm going to do a countdown to 3, 2, 1, go. That wasn't it, but that's what it's going to sound like when I do it. And then you'll hit play on go to sync with me. You should be synced with me. I'll be synced with Nightlife. Nightlife will be synced with all of you, and it'll be a great time. And !listen in the chat will bring you to the Nightlife link tree. So you'll see there it has the links to all of the things that Nightlife has going on, music video, social media links, all that kind of stuff. So again, !listen in the chat will bring you there. So without any further ado, I think it's time to see the band. Am I right? Or at least a little bit of it. Let's check out the Bandcamp here. Let's see how bad this is. Like, literally, it's just Hansel.
Correct. Good.
I promise there are 2 other people there. So there's Isaiah.
Okay. So if we go like real close, it'll work.
Yeah, if they could go over your shoulders. For right now, don't worry. I'll get to a window where they can see all of you. So this is their Bandcamp. That's one of the links that's in the link tree. So !listen. Go to the link tree. Check this out. Purchase stuff if it's available. The digital album you can always buy. Do that. Purchase the digital album and then continue listening to it on streaming services instead. That's my opinion.
I like that one. Also, really quickly, if you buy it digitally on Bandcamp, we are donating a portion of those proceeds to an organization called Good Mad City.
You have that linked in your link tree as well. Yeah, so you can check
more than welcome to donate to them directly, or we'll use some of the proceeds for what we get from Bandcamp to do so. And we already have a couple times, which is really nice. So. Oh
hell yeah, that rules! I love that. My cat is climbing all over everything out of frame, and I'm stressed.
Hold on. No.
He is all right. Let's get to that listen screen. There's the whole band. There you all are.
Hi.
Okay, cool. We got Carrying Lizard in the chat here. Says, personally, I use Deezer exclusively. I'm a big fan of that app. That's very funny.
Awesome.
Yeah. Azure Void says, are the songs available on Spotify too? Yes, that's in fact where I listen to your album for the most part.
Thank you.
Tig. Hey. Stop. Please. No.
No.
All right. Y'all want to introduce yourselves? While I snatch my cat.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool.
I'll be right back.
I'll go first, like the diva I am. I'm Hansel. I am the singer and producer, and according to the music video, also the guitarist. But we'll talk about that one. That's me.
Hi, I'm Julian. I pluck the strings, guitar and bass.
We'll talk about that one later too.
Oh, yeah.
I'm Isaiah. I smack stuff, aka drums. So that's how that goes.
He do be smacking.
Yeah.
And we're Nightlife. We're new. We just came out with our debut on the 9th of last month. Dropped 3 songs, as you'll hear one of them. And really stoked to be here. Really stoked to be anywhere at all. But hope you enjoy. And yeah, that's us a little bit.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Hopefully my cat will be all right now. I think everything's fine. We shall see. I guess if I could ask chat, how are our levels volume-wise, myself compared to Nightlife? I think Caring Lizard is upset that I accidentally said Karen Lizard. I know. I know, me too. But if you could let me know if our levels are level. If our levels are level, please let me know in the chat. Let's see here. We got Smon Risotto says, let's go.
Smon!
And all that jazz did the exclamation point. Listen, he with Solus. Well, that also is in here. TWIABP says, let's go. I can't wait for Brooklyn. Elsewhere is such a good venue. Oh, cool. That's for our tour. Cool.
Is that literal? The world is a beautiful place.
I think it's based on The World is a Beautiful Place. I don't think it's literally The World is a Beautiful Place.
Appreciate you.
Yes. Yeah. I asked the same question last week, I think.
Gotcha.
Of the person, because, yeah. Also, I'm just vibing here, making a DIY poster, LMAO, support small artists on Bandcamp Friday. Bandcamp Fridays are pretty dope. I'll say it.
That's facts.
Straight up.
I think that's everybody and all that jazz. Great, thanks for letting me know. Oh, that's about the Bandcamp stuff. Sweet. I think that's good. Tilt 2002 says volume's good. Sounds fine for me. Says everyone else. Sounds okay for me. It's and I have the meaning to change my user. Oh yeah, you're sorry. The username that I butchered. Okay, well, I'm gonna tell everyone now. Now is the time to open a streaming service. Do that. I'll give you a little while. I mean, like I like to say it and then I talk for a little while and then we get into it. But just to reiterate, I will not be playing the music live on stream. You will have to sync up with us when I do a countdown. I'll do a 3, 2, 1, go. That also wasn't it. But on go, you will hit play and we should be synced up. Without fail, someone comes in like halfway through the stream and is like, why can't I hear the music? And I understand, I do. But like for me, I just, this helps with copyright stuff. And also it encourages you to seek the band out on a streaming provider so that you can follow them, click the follow button or whatever, stream their album, do that stuff. If you really like it, you can listen to it after today. That's not illegal. It's not illegal to do. I would encourage it. It's extremely legal, in fact.
Well, I mean,
It's always check that out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Hansel, I know you originally from Pink Shift, because you mix and mastered their singles as they were releasing them, and then they were remastered by Will Yip. But
so actually, yes, I'm gonna actually.
Please do.
The ones on streaming platforms are actually mastered by me as well. The vinyl are the ones that are remastered by Will Yip, which is a very cool thing.
Okay, dope, sweet.
But it's super cool.
Okay, great. Oh, that's good to know, because I think I was a little confused when that like stuff. I was like, oh, okay, everything got remastered. I was like, what? But that makes sense because like we mastered our album and then somebody else mastered it for vinyl. So. Mm-hmm. And then, which is funny because everyone has told us that the vinyl sounds amazing, and we're just like, "Yep."
We know exactly how it sounds. Yep.
Yeah. I still haven't heard it. Yeah, but Julian and Isaiah. So I saw you do an Instagram stream like right when this came out, which was like a little bit of a precursor to this, I think, in a way, where you would listen to a song and then you would talk about it, and then you would listen to another song and talk about it. But so I kind of know a little bit of like how you all came together, and but if you wouldn't mind giving a little bit of that background, I'd love to hear from Julian and Isaiah here.
Sure. So I met Hansel through another band that we collectively played for. A good friend of ours from the area, Elizabeth II. I was her lead guitarist. Hansel was her bassist, and and we met. We played. I think the first time we ever played together was at an in-studio video shoot. I think we had a grand total of like 3 takes to nail it. And Hansel showed up super prepared. This is the first time I ever met the dude, and he just killed it. And so, you know, we made our connection that way. And then one day Hansel basically was like, "Hey, I got an idea for a project." I was like, "Go on." And he gave me the pitch, and I was like, "I am all the way in. Let's rock." So we all met up and we jammed, and that's how I met Isaiah, the man who be touching the heck out of them drums.
It's so sweet.
So yeah, that's how we all met.
Cool. Yeah, I remember when it got announced, Isaiah. It was like funny to see your kit because I know Hansel is more of like a heavier sound, you know. So like to see like such a stripped down kit was myself and a couple people in the replies I think on Twitter were like, what's about to happen? Like this drummer's got to be incredible.
That was the funniest reply I think we got beforehand. That was so good.
Heavy crack.
Because you were right. Like you wrecked it.
It's a lot to follow. Hansel's a lot to follow when it comes to that, but make it work. I met Hansel through. I used to play in it was like a prog metal band. It's called The Path Unwinding, and Hansel was originally going to be a vocalist, and we kind of lost the flame, and everything died out. But me and Hansel stayed in touch. Every now and then, he'd send me like dope tracks. Always dope tracks, and I'd end up playing in my basement hours on hand trying to like play it. And like Julian said, he just linked us all up together, and then now we're here.
Hell yeah.
They did it. That was great.
I'm
very
glad.
sweet.
I'm glad that your other thing fizzled out.
We'll see what they're not. So we'll see.
For now. It allowed you the scope to have like this happen, which I think is wonderful. That's awesome. And you do tear it up, as they say. I think all three of you, because I don't think it's like often kind of, I mean, like even in our scene to have an entire band where everyone is so masterful with their instruments, because like we kind of thrive in a very, you know, sloppy environment, and I love that kind of music. Like, don't get me wrong, like there are a lot of our peers who are guitar players who really can't play the guitar, but they write the dopest shit I've ever heard, and it's like really inspiring, and it like really proves the accessibility of music in a way. And then we have bands like yours where you are technically very impressive. I mean, because like Hansel, you're singing. I think first I didn't know you did a lot of that shit, and then because I followed you on Twitter because of Pink Shift, and then you like posted a cover of yourself like singing something in like a practice space or whatever, and I just like I looped that the whole day. I was like, your voice is so good. I was like, what the fuck? What? You're so good at singing. You're so good at singing. It's ridiculous. Yeah.
Thank you.
And then Julian, you play so much, like you did a lot of the bass and guitar for this record or for the EP. Yeah.
Just about
and
everything.
Here I thought Hansel was like already really good at guitar and stuff. And then to see when it's someone that I'm like, oh, you're so much better than like I have ever like thrived to be. And then like, and I'm meaning that for Hansel. And then like to see Hansel go like, oh, and Julian is like way better than I am. Then I'm like, well, where the fuck do I go from here?
Well, that's no fair. He's been playing forever. Oh, my thing is unplugged. I'm so stupid. So sorry.
Yeah, I was playing in local. Ooh,
we're good. We're good.
Oh, we're losing power here.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, I actually met Hansel because I was playing a bunch in the scene, but funnily enough, bass is my newer instrument. I've only been playing it for like, I don't know, like between 2 and 3 years. But I just have so much fun with the thing. And this is honestly the band that first allowed me to really express myself through bass. Because, you know, bass and rock is, But
Yeah, yep. It can
But
be.
this-
it can be.
This project really allowed me to kind of break out of my shell in that instrument.
Hell yeah, I'm so happy for you. That's awesome. Well,
Oh, it
shit.
shows. It
Well,
definitely
shit.
shows.
It does show. Like there's absolutely like an irreverence and joy like in the EP that is like coming through crystal clear. It's awesome. I love it.
That's fantastic. I
Okay.
I
Yeah.
will say that for as virtuosic as you might think we are, I have the very same impression about Glass Beach. So this is just how this works, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose.
But for whatever it's worth.
I mean, like, don't get me wrong. I think that Jay is an incredible pianist and like outstanding writer. It's hard because I hate using the word like genius because I think that shit's like overplayed and it kind of like I think it almost like takes away from like the work that someone puts into something. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
To just like say
For sure.
they're a genius or like say, oh you're so talented. It's like, well, yeah, okay, but I did work very hard.
Yeah,
That
right.
kind of thing. So those sort of, but that is like how I feel about Jay and like Lane and Jonas. They're all very, very incredible musicians. And so whenever I'm uplifting your band, just know that in no way am I downplaying Glass Beach. I think I'm very lucky, very fortunate to be able to be in a band with all of them. It brings me to my furthest corners. If you've seen the movie Frank, that's all right. It's a movie about a band doing stuff and it's very good. I would that's my recommendation. I'm gonna look at some more people who are in the chat. We got Autumn After All is in the chat here, which I don't know that either I haven't seen you before or I haven't seen you in a while. And then TWIBP, the world is a beautiful place is easier to say than the acronym.
I'm not gonna lie.
It's like Volkswagen.
Yeah.
VW.
VW, Volkswagen. You're right. I didn't even think
It's
about
more,
that before.
it's more syllables, I think, to say the.
VW. Volkswagen. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
Damn.
This guy counts.
Autumn After All is the person who had the hard to pronounce name earlier in the chat. They just changed their name. Okay, cool. You all, this is your last call. I'm gonna start the listen along. So if you haven't opened a streaming provider, streaming service of your choice, am I right? Then please do that now. I'm going to do the countdown imminently. If you're not too stressed out about that, hopefully I can.
Not at all.
Okay.
Answered okay. Good.
Good.
We're ready to go.
Got my
You're
finger
all-
on the space bar.
Got your finger on the space bar. Okay. All right. Then on my end, I'm gonna switch to my listening service. I do use the Green Music app, but I'm not happy about it. I just want everyone to know that.
Every boy. Eesh. Back up.
How about Kendrick Lamar? Am I right?
How about
Dude.
Kendrick Lamar? Final TDE album? Question mark?
Yeah.
Where,
Yeah.
like, there's so many cool directions that he can go from there. Independent, major, like whatever. He can do anything. Movies. It sounds like he wants to be an actor to me, honestly.
Really?
But for whatever reason, I read his statement. And I was like, "Oh, this dude gonna act? All right, bet." Like,
Wow.
and make
Okay.
music. But like, I don't know.
Well, this is
maybe. Or
recorded,
maybe he's just
so
gonna be like an activist,
if and when
you know?
that happens, we can just clip this part and a tastemaker over here.
It's called Vision. A little bit of it.
I bet he can act, and I would love to see it.
I wouldn't be surprised. You do got the skits.
Or even
Yeah.
direct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably more accurate.
He's got a vision,
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely.
He would be a great director. Damn.
Yeah.
I mean, he
Literally.
co-directs all of the music videos, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Sounds correct.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's him and like his like they started a production company together to do all of his music videos. I can't remember, a co-producer or something. But I remember like reading about that for all of the like videos like that came out of Damn, that were like every single one was like iconic and everyone was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I've stalled long enough. We're doing it.
We're doing it. Thinking
Okay.
about some commentary as we speak.
We're gonna do it. We're gonna talk about your EP. It's gonna be a good time. Okay. I will say the track names as we go along, by the way, just so you know
Thank you.
that I'll be doing that. And this is the
Appreciate
first time I've remembered to let the band know that I'm going to do that before introducing the listening portion, and then I have to like redo it all. Okay. Here we go. So this is New Low by Nightlife. The first song is the titular New Low. And if we're all ready,
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to do that countdown now. New Low by Nightlife. First song, New Low. 3, 2, 1, go.
Wow. Good timing. Okay, so y'all know how disco-y pop music has been getting for the past couple years. This was literally me going, I want to do that because I really love disco. My mom loves disco. I love disco.
I love disco.
We love disco.
Yes. I had too much fun recording the bass on this. It was
So many good takes, too. This first verse through the first chorus took an eternity to write. We went through maybe 6 iterations of each
easy.
Wow.
because I'm an anxious, paranoid piece of shit. And finally brought Julian into it at some point and was like, I give up. And we did it together. And it finally worked. But everything from like the 2-minute mark on was done pretty early.
Okay. I mean, do you collaborate on all the lyrics?
At this point, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm not great at it. And he is.
Hansel can write incredible vocal lines. I'm good with words every now and again.
Yeah.
It's not often you get like a really like staccato chorus, like a really like something that's like because
Yeah,
usually it
that's
opens
the point.
up and it's like now we're big and we're flowy and like stuff like that.
No.
Yeah.
Nah.
This is my
Accents.
favorite part of the song.
Stupid. Immediately he played that bass line and the key line not too long after. And we were like, this is literally something off of To Pimp a Butterfly or something Thundercat would write. Keep.
With the little envelope filter.
Yo.
Oh, man.
Immediate.
Yeah.
Immediate.
Also switching to like the quarter notes here.
Yup.
Yeah.
Getting ready for the disco,
Yes.
basically. This was a totally different drum beat until like a week before the song was finished.
Was
And
it
then
more
this was just, like,
complicated or was it?
Yeah.
Yep.
It was more sparse and more complicated at the same time, interestingly enough.
So
I love her backing vocals.
I'm
on
very
this.
aware that you are sort of addicted to layering.
Yeah.
Can you give me an estimate here on like, you know, how many guitars we have going on, and we got a horn section now.
Yeah, we got horns. All right, estimate. Vocals now, like 15 to 20 tracks. Not that many. Guitars, like 8 to 10.
Yeah.
Bass, 1.
Just one.
Just one.
Drums,
Yeah.
2, because we got the acoustic stuff and some electric stuff going over top.
Yeah. How much sample reinforcement do you do?
Everything.
Everything.
Well, actually,
Great.
yeah, everything. Let's just go with that.
yeah. I mean, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
I
A
mean,
lot
like,
of the snares, I put an electric snare on top. A lot of the kicks, I had a little sub sample too, like that kind of thing.
cool. Do you tune the bass?
No, we did not.
Okay.
I didn't know that people did that. I'm gonna think about it.
That's what Lane, production wise, like always tunes the bass. I think Jay does too.
Gotcha. I'm gonna look into it. I never tried.
Yeah, I don't know much about production, so
Seems like it'd sound cool.
Things
It's
I
stable.
could have said. A million other
So
things.
now there are like 25 vocal tracks. There were like 75 vocal tracks total for the song, and like 35 guitars, etc., etc. Like stupid.
Yeah, the
Autumn
guitar
After
tuning on this
Fall.
was so fun.
Yeah, Autumn After Fall says this kind of reminds me of Starboy era of The Weekend,
Oh, thank you.
and then says, but
Thank
like
you.
even cooler.
If possible, to thank you. Huge fan, huge Weekend fan.
TWI
All eras.
BP says, I'm getting some big Franz Ferdinand. I'm going to march down the sidewalk to this song vibes.
That's awesome. Like
Wow,
that's the
like the
first
guts to do a fade out on an intro track. Look at you.
Listen,
We're at 5 minutes.
we're at 5 minutes. Where else do we go? We have already made that mistake, so we were like, all right, let's be bold and just fade it out.
This is All I Know. The song All I Know, and also of the two original tracks, this one is my favorite.
Interesting, very cool. I love.
I love New Low.
sound.
Don't get me wrong, but this song, the chorus is amazing.
It's lovely. In fact, it was co-written, I should say, by my friend Julian Camo, who is in a band called Loveless. And he writes a bunch for Kellen Quinn, a bunch of other people. Really neat.
I like the arpeggios in the background there.
Yeah. Oh, those.
I
Are
think
they
When I
like
played those for
muted?
Hansel the first time, my fingers are like this.
Because I can't play guitar, just play what, Then he has to actually do it.
I love this guitar part because we'd written this part for the chorus,
Mhm.
and I was like, Hansel, let's tease it a little early.
And make it sound haunted. And then it did. And it's in the octave guitars.
Chasing a ghost. Yeah.
References.
Your
All of
voice
my
on this
references for
chorus.
Thank you.
Sorry. It's
Dude went crazy.
Thank
Crazy.
anyway, yes, all
That's
of your
so cool.
references.
The vocal references are all canceled. But literally every single one.
Every single one. There's a little bit of Linkin
but-
Park in there if you I hear it.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
I wasn't actually a huge Linkin Park fan growing up. I am now.
Sure.
But I will absolutely take that. This was totally different. Julian stanked it out with some bass, bringing the neo soul into it. That is a thing. I mean, as a framework for our music, if you want to think about it, I consider us a neo soul band.
Sure.
And everything else around it is just going to be what happens around it. But
Yeah.
that's the goal there. Soul at the front. You'll hear a bunch of tremolo guitars going on, making like echoey pitches in the back. I do that literally everywhere. It's kind of messy. It fills up space in a way that I love, but it also gets really muddy and stuff. But anyway, talked a
Yeah.
lot.
Well, yeah. I hear
Yeah.
what you're talking about. This fucking note.
Yeah.
Man, when Hansel sent me this the first time, I was like, man, you got to stop playing. Come on, man.
My bad.
And this fucking like hard ass drum beat the whole time. Jesus.
You can feel
That,
them
the
too.
tiny little like bass fill you just did, like like jeez.
Yes.
I love that. So I didn't realize I want the shh.
That's fucking cute as hell. It's so good.
I'm so glad that it's cute instead of like corny or whatever. Whatever. I wanted to do it.
No, lean into it. It's great. It's great.
Kitsch.
I mean,
My
if
favorite.
anything, the kind of muted like arpeggio sounds cheesier than the Shush, and I still think they both really work. Like,
I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna take that and run with it.
and this is Lonely.
Yeah.
Now
This
you
is
told
not
the
an
story of like why you did this on your Instagram live thing,
I
but
think
you did. I remember. It was because somebody else had done a cover of like a neo-soul cover of a different song, and you were like, "Oh, we're gonna do that for this."
Yep. So it was an R&B group called Division did a cover of what's that song? Kings of Leon song, "Sex on Fire" or something.
Yeah.
One of those, but it was dope, and it was low key like this, down tempo, a lot of Massive Attack influence in it, and I was listening to a lot of Massive Attack at the time, so I was like, all right, let's do this for a different song. I wanted to cover the song for the cover or the chorus forever. Just worked.
How much influence Isaiah do you have on like the auxiliary percussion, or is that more of like a Hansel production thing?
That's more of a Hansel production thing. But I have like a EAD at home. It's like a little trigger mic module. So I try to play with it myself.
Oh hell yeah!
Yep.
When you perform live, then would you be like using a pad as well as like an acoustic drum kit?
Yeah, I like to incorporate that. I'm finding it very sick. Yeah.
It's gonna be a little spicy.
Yeah.
Okay, that's my favorite part of the EP. Just that. 'Cause I'm like, oh, okay. I guess I could sing.
Yeah, and then you just casually do it again right now. You're like, oh, yeah.
It wasn't auto-tuned or whatever. Okay, anyway.
Dude, I love this bridge.
Yeah. Azure Void says,
Love
haven't stopped jamming the entire time.
Oh,
Oh,
that
boop,
bass
boop,
line.
boop, 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 boop.
Yeah. That was one of those moments where he was supposed to do a practice take over it to just jam, and then I pressed record anyway.
Yeah.
And then
That's
we
yes.
used
That's
it. Yeah, just used it, and it was brilliant. We both made the ha. Yeah. So yeah, lots of down tempo, lots of dub, Massive Attack.
Yeah, you're really
fucking-
patient
Yeah,
with this cover. You like
The Madonna did a down tempo album in 1997 that I really like called Ray of Light. I was really in this too. All our references are weird as fuck.
fair enough. Just like it's like very reserved in the sense that like there's no part of this where you're like, okay, and now we're gonna explode and like completely change the tone of the song. I really like how reserved and how down tempo it is.
Appreciate that.
And
That
then
was
we-
not conscious per se, but yeah. Definitely like we don't need to punch them every song kind of thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially since the first two songs you really punch them. Like
Yeah.
it's a good, nice little like finisher. And that's the EP.
That's it.
Yeah.
1228. That's it.
That's it. Well, hell yeah. I mean,
so that's our EP. It plays on the streaming platforms. If you just did it, that's how it happens. They play it.
Carrying Lizard said, I've got to get ready for a hot date, but your music has definitely amped me up for it. So you're now the soundtrack to a hot date that is about to occur.
Yeah.
I'm not lonely.
You got it.
Not that song, maybe not.
I don't want to be lonely anymore.
I'd get ready to that song.
That's true. That's true.
I'm
Yeah.
just thinking my little hips around,
Get your groove on.
but I feel
Yeah.
Sway those hips.
Not Carrying Lizard says no, not lonely.
That's what I thought.
fair enough.
So what's in the works then? Can we talk?
We can.
EP2?
I guess I'll handle some of this. Yeah. So EP2 is our priority, just writing and stuff, because we have a bunch of demos that we worked on. And then I also had that hard drive die to a non-recoverable point. So a lot of things that I'm not going to talk about are gone. But in any case, we have to rebuild some things, some of those demos. We started doing that for one of them last night, for example. But we're just trying to write music. And if we can get together 3 or 4 songs that are dope, we'll go with that. If it's less than that, we'll go with that. But the goal is definitely to get something out before the end of the year. Hopefully a lot sooner.
Before the end of the year? Hopefully a lot sooner, you said?
Hopefully, if I actually come home from work every day and work on music instead of not,
sure.
Then yes, it can happen before then. But that requires some effort.
Wow. I mean, I saw something you shared on Twitter recently. That was pretty cool.
Cool. Thank you. We've been throwing some stuff out there. There's one demo I know we're not going to work on for now, at least I think. That's like a more heavy-ish song. To be honest, I don't know that we'll ever do it, but like I kind of I want there to be some point where we do a heavy song because like we have the instruments, we have the influence, we may as well touch it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But for a few reasons, our direction, our goals, some advice from our manager, et cetera, like I'm probably going to try to stick more to exploring the soul side of things that we can do before we lean on our laurels, so to speak, and be like, all right, let's see what we can do on the rock side too, or whatever it is.
Yeah. I mean,
so, yeah.
you know us, we're all for like throwing everything into one song and calling it good. So
and making it work. Totally fine.
So you have my unending support for getting as heavy or as light or whatever as you want. I mean, I'll be there. I'll be there to soak it up.
And that's so cool and reassuring to always know. Yeah. I mean, we don't have a sound yet, but like, we want to play around. So it's good to know that you'll be there. Thank you.
I mean, it would honestly be cool if like you released another EP that sounded almost nothing like this. Because I know it's in your wheelhouse. I know that you have like a lot of influences and you're all absolutely technically proficient and like very playful and creative, like instrumentalists and vocalists and stuff. So I have a lot of faith that, I mean, you could tackle any genre that you wanted to. So whatever you have fun with, I want to hear.
That's the goal. We definitely, there's 2 demos that we've gotten the most progress on so far. And they're definitely more in the vein of the first EP. But I'm very interested to see where the next couple are. Because, I mean, I ain't told y'all this, but I definitely want to try like something cloud rappy. Which is like a specific like style of production that's like very verbed out and shit. And see if we can fuck with that at all. Because I really like, totally random aside, and I'm going to stop fucking talking. Tinashe just put out a record. An R&B singer, writer, fantastic artist.
Yes.
And can't stop listening to it. One, I know Isaiah can't either, which is awesome. And there's this one song on it called Bouncin' that straight up to me sounds like a crowd, like it could be on a Blade album or like Echo 2K, any of those like Drain Gang, like cloud rap people, if you know anything about that. But in her way, and very catchy and poppy too, but like also very vocally proficient, which is something that is typically not necessarily the focus on other music in this sound. So yeah, as soon as I heard that, I was like, damn, okay, I just want to try it. Let's go. And that was a lot about cloud rap.
I mean, yeah, but that's great. There are times I think when suddenly you hear something and you go like, oh, I think my musical life has changed. Like it's something that kind of like overtakes you and you're like, whatever that is, I want some of it, you know?
Exactly. Really into that style production, all that. Sorry, I have like a little thingy in the throat, but
yeah,
there she is.
I think our songwriting process, I'm going to tell you the same thing I told Hansel last night. When we just sit in a room together and our heads are in it, we just create something dope. And I'm equally excited to see what the next EP is going to hold, because even in the times that we just sit together, we might come out with like, this is the song we want to work on. And then we come up with something totally different that's grooving. By the end of the night, we're like, okay, that's tough.
Like last time we jumped between 2 sessions a bunch. Like,
yeah,
it just, whatever works.
Yeah, hell yeah. What's your setup like for when you get together?
So we go to
Julian just starts laughing.
So we go to his basement?
Yep.
Basement.
Okay.
And that's a cool basement. That's a first floor ass basement.
It's a
Yeah.
studio.
Yeah. What I have is basically it looks like a practice space, but it's really like a songwriting space. So I just have like a bunch of instruments all plugged in at once. So it's very easy to just jump behind something and play. So I got like an electric drum kit, keys, a bunch of guitars and basses, and Hansel brings his laptop. He gets the session going, and it's actually very easy for us to just hop behind something
From one thing to
and
another,
lay something down for a demo, and just kind of rotate between instruments to try to get stuff in there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that really helps these songs come to life, because there's really not a big period between, oh, how's the song going to sound, and literally just playing something and saying, ooh, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what usually happens is one or some of us will play something and we'll just be like looping it. And then Hansel will be like, I like that. Try it like this. Or, we just kind of tweak it a little bit as we go. And Hansel, he's got a tricky little record button finger, where a lot of times I'll just be playing stuff and he'll be like, cool, sounds good. Already got it.
All right, great. I'll just throw that on the timeline here.
Slide that down real quick.
Yeah.
I mean, he just plays some stuff offhand that just works. I don't know. It's like, this is a blessing. I'm with two really good musicians, and I get to bring my strength and not have to worry about the others. Things that I take so much, like guitar, not to go on an aside. I said I was going to stop talking. But guitar, like I can play if you give me 4 hours to record the thing you want me to play. Sure. Otherwise, if it's not rhythm guitar, that good fucking luck. Like I can play in drop D.
All right.
Like that's it. But Julian can obviously fill in those spaces wherever I need and do things so much faster than I can, so much faster. And then Isaiah, like, there's nothing like a real drummer. Like, I could program whatever, whenever, but whenever Isaiah actually plays something along with us or whatever, there's always something that sparks that's just nuanced, an accent, something that's cool. So we're definitely going to lean on that more for the next EP than we did, but always awesome.
Yeah, do you do full quantizing, like with everything? Is your stuff like pretty like to the meter?
Yeah, everything's to the grid except, I mean, literally everything except the bass in Lonely, which is 1 or 2 takes that is not quantized. And I think that's by mistake. So,
wow, okay then. Wow.
We had groove, so we kept it.
So you just have a space where, and that's set up like all the time. Like where you're like, oh, come on, damn, that's important. Cause like, that's something we don't have that like, I think, I mean, when we want to like sit down and do like some writing or do a practice session or something, we have to do a full setup of, I'm going to have to like move my like E-kit, or we have to go do like we go to a practice space and then we have to set all the instruments up cause it's like a shared space. And yeah, that's like super important.
Yeah. Lucked out.
Yeah, damn. That's awesome.
I get to show up my laptop and make music. So it's okay, great.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Do you have any places? This is pretty much like the last thing I'm going to ask you about, and then we can get going. But do you have any, do each of you have any places you might want to go with the band? Like, are there things that, because I know like Hansel talked about that Tanisha album that just came out.
Tinashe, yes.
Tinashe, yeah. And how that's like I kind of want to like maybe go that direction or like pull something from that. We can start with Isaiah. Do you have any like things that are an influence that you're hoping to maybe get to work through with the project?
Stuff like I'm a really big Deftones fan. Free Nationals. Damn, you kind of put me on the spot right now.
I can go to Julian. I can go to Julian if you want a little more time to think about it. Yeah, let's start with Julian.
Yeah, my biggest thing, and I think it's actually kind of scratched the itch for me already with EP1, is I want to bring bass back into rock and soul. I mean, bass was already in soul, but adding that to rock, I think, is a sweet spot that I've been trying to get at. Because I grew up listening to a lot of funk and really bass heavy songs, and seeing kind of the rock and hard rock scene kind of pull a lot of bass techniques into guitar, I like putting it back on bass, and because there's just a groove and a sound that comes from a really groovy bass line, and I just don't hear it a lot in rock. So I kind of want to lean into that a lot, actually. And whatever sound we make, I think, even though I've been playing guitar for probably 5 times as long as I've been playing bass, I really want to explore really leaning into groove in rock. So
Yeah,
that's where I'm at.
Has your bass playing affected your guitar playing at all?
A lot. With bass, it's not about learning to play a lot. It's learning what to play. And I was fortunate enough to play for reggae bands for literally for the last 5 years, and that's all about restraint. Just because you can play it doesn't mean you should. So it definitely has transferred right back over to my guitar playing, because it's you find where you fit instead of trying to fit as much as you can into the song.
Serving the music.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's this there's this concept in sorry I'm going to talk about improv, comedy improv right now, because
by all means.
Yeah, I did a ton of that. I studied it for 5 years, but there was a concept that my mentor always said was the scene must win, that sort of an idea, and that has kind of influenced me in my entire life, and is definitely something that I think music wise as well, which goes right along with what you were just saying, because the concept of no matter what you can do and no matter how much you can do, the scene must win, the song must win. But at the end of the day, if you have done anything that detracts from maybe what we were going for, or what the themes or the point of the song is, then you have placed yourself before the music instead of serving the music, like what Isaiah said, serving. And I think in serving music, it's also, especially when you have a band that seems as well adjusted and good and collaborative as you are, a portion of that isn't just a respect for the song that you're working on, but absolutely a respect for each other.
Yeah,
100%.
I mean, when you watch people practice as much as they both do, him through gigging and him through practicing, you can't not respect it. You know what's happening there, and you know that there's effort and growth and all that stuff.
Yeah. So back to you, Isaiah. We talked about the Deftones being a big influence. Did you think I was going to forget to come back to you?
yeah. I was hoping for it. But Abe Cunningham is such a awesome pocket drummer, and that's always inspired me. I love subtle changes, or he didn't hit a little ghost notes or things like that. So there was always pocket drummers for me. Dennis Chambers, another good one. James Brown, big funk background like Julian. But that's pretty much it. I don't know. Yeah.
Sick.
And with Hansel saying, so I know Julian, you do a lot of gigging, and you're talking about playing with a bunch of reggae bands, and you two met in a different band, and you play all over. And Hansel, you were saying that you had worked in other bands and stuff. Isaiah, do you gig a lot, or because I feel drummers are in high demand? So I would, if you were to ask me before talking to all three of you, I'd be oh, Isaiah's probably in 10 bands with how good he is. He's playing constantly.
I was more reserved. I played in my basement for probably 8 years before I joined a band, my first band, and then
wow.
After that yeah, and I was deathcore and stuff like that. I was doing blast beats all the time, and I kind of put the blast beats to rest.
No, you didn't.
Don't
dig those up.
Well, yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to go back into that, but yeah. So I never really did too many gigs or anything like that. I played with probably 4 bands in my lifetime, so I'm more reserved. I like to be in something that I feel can express me to full extent, instead of just jumping into something that we can play X amount of shows for the year.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's quality over quantity for me. I
Yeah.
guess.
To have found you would be unbelievable. Like, just to think that like if you played like practice like constantly for 8 years just in your basement, and then to come out of nowhere someone's like, gosh, I really need a drummer for this band. You're like, oh, I could play the drums or something, and then like have you show up to a practice and just be like ding, 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 ding. Like
True.
Yeah, that's
So
incredible.
true. No, that's some hyperbolic chamber shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
For real.
Yeah, wow. Well, that's awesome. I mean, like, as always, I'm glad you all found each other. I'm super happy that like you were able to put this project together, and I'm excited to see what you do with it next. I know your manager, so I trust your manager for the advice that you're receiving, and but I do look forward to a time where you can do whatever you want.
Oh, we're excited too. And I appreciate you putting it that way too, because I mean, we have been doing this for a minute as musicians. So it's like, even if we don't know what we're doing right now, it's like, we can acknowledge that like for the next year or so, like we should rely heavily on our manager and their advice. After that, or when you're at a certain point or whatever it is, when we deem it necessary, like we can go, okay, this is our band again. Not that it ever isn't, but it's like,
right.
this is, I want to go do blah, 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 blah. Forget it. Fuck it. Let's go. As opposed to, I'm thinking about working on blank. Let's go see what Jason thinks about it. Mm-hmm. And then whatever Jason thinks about it, we're still going to do it if we want to. Like the merch drop that we did. He was a fan by the end, but he wasn't super into the idea just because he wanted to wait a little. And we were like, we want to do it because it's DIY. And he was like, all right, go for it. Have fun. And we did.
Cool.
But yeah, quick aside on that. Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah. Okay. I think that's good. Are there any like last things that any of you want to talk about?
Oh man. We're going to be working really hard to try to get this new music out. I'm saying this as like a, rule, like expect a single by at the very latest December, like at the very latest, a single by December. If I have anything else to say about it, please, it'll be sooner, but we'll see. Besides that, we're so excited to have people care for the first time in our lives. So stick around. I have this crazy fear of abandonment, but while it's here, stay. I love it. Thank you. Appreciate you so much. And I don't know, we are going to go, I'm not going to lie. We got some cool plans. We're going to do some pretty crazy stuff. Come along for the ride if you want. That's all.
Hell yeah. Any Julian, Isaiah, anything?
Echoing Hansel's thoughts, just excited to see people jamming along. Because I think at the risk of sounding cliche, I think a lot of soul went into EP1. And I think as we continue to catch our stride and make more music, I'm just really excited for other people to dig it too.
And that part, yeah.
What he said.
Yeah. I don't think it would have gotten any traction at all if it wasn't good, and also something that you did put like some heart and soul into. So yeah, very deserved. Excited to I say this to some bands like all the time, but I really do feel this. Like I'm excited for the day when like you're like, wow, remember when Glass Beach was like bigger than us? Because I do feel that way.
If you got anything to say about it, y'all gonna come up before. But
whatever. I get it. I don't mean you're gonna be, you don't have to, the idea doesn't have to be that you're like huge like compared to us, but I'm just like, we got really lucky. We worked really hard on an album and it just like kind of came together at the right time. It felt like it caught fire. It really did. And I'm like, when I start seeing shit like that for some of my peers that I really like admire, I'm just so knowing the trajectory of like our album and like how long it took for certain things to catch and then to catch again and then to catch again. I'm like, oh shit, I'm so stoked for where you're all gonna go. Anyway, I think we can be done.
That's so cool of you. And I mean, they're a little less familiar, but like I watched that whole thing happen. I'm the resident rate your music nerd in the band. So I was like, who the fuck? This is cool. And then I watched y'all explode on Twitter, like you said, and explode pretty much everywhere. And Pink Shift we watched explode too.
Yeah.
So, like you said, to have it even remotely happen similarly to us is like very surreal for that reason too. You know?
Yeah.
But yeah. Super cool.
It's super cool. Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna do a little spiel for the out here. So thank you. You can stick around. They'll still be able to hear you, and I'll end the stream, and then we can talk off stream, and then you can leave again. I'll wrap this up real fast. So it should be good.
Take your time.
Great.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Going to the screen, they won't be able to see you, but they will be able to hear you. Thank you, everybody in the audience, for being here. I really appreciate you coming in for this one because they are very new. Nightlife is, and obviously as musicians, they've been around for a while in a lot of other projects. Isaiah less so, I suppose I should say. not in a lot of other projects, but when you hear music like this and you see people who have obviously worked very hard, like you can tell with an album, with an EP like this project, y'all have put a lot of work in previously, and it's so this isn't like an overnight success kind of thing. This isn't like we did one thing and it caught, and aren't we so lucky? Like, no, it's very clear that you've all worked very hard at this for a long time. So thank you all for being here, and if you're watching this on YouTube, thank you for that as well. You can follow the listen along. Like, I have a Twitter for it now. It's just _listen along on Twitter. I promise I won't use that for like anything else. So like follow that account and turn notifications on so that you can keep up to date with the next ones that I have, or when I release like something on like some of the VODs on YouTube. This VOD will go up either Monday or Tuesday, something like that, and it'll be in the playlist listen along, which again is bit.ly/listen along YT, capital L, capital A, capital YT, and you can find all of them there, everything that we've done so far. Again, !listen in the chat will take you to the link tree for Nightlife. !tour in the chat will take you to the Glass Beach Band tour information. I have it here up on screen so you can see it. Wait, which one do I want to get rid of? There we go. Those dates, 3 of the dates have sold out already. I know Chicago and Atlanta are getting close to selling out as well, so jump on those. We added a second Philadelphia date because you all are wild and I love you. And I appreciate it. So I'm stoked for that. We just locked in openers for Minneapolis and one of the Texas dates. We locked in a couple other openers somewhere else. We've reached out to a bunch of people. We're just waiting to hear back and like lock those in with promoters. So super stoked about that. We should be announcing those soon. Excited to be touring with Proper and Home Is Where. I've been a big fan of both of theirs for a while. Home Is Where has actually come on and done a listen along. So Brandon from Home Is Where came on. So you can check that out as well. And I think that's it. I will now fully wrap. Does anybody have anything else to say in the chat here? New Low is an absolute fucking bop. Can't wait for more, says Nunzi. GD Metallic just has a heart here. Jacob Village is super excited for all your future music. Nunzi says the sky's the limit for y'all. Roma Boris says y'all got this. GD Metallic says this was amazing. And more and more love for all of you. And again, a reminder, some of these people heard this for the first time. So
that's perfect.
Yeah. Thank you all. I have another one of these next Saturday. I believe it's Car Talk. Let me confirm. Yes, it's Car Talk. My friend Chuck of Car Talk is going to come on. I don't know if we're going to do it live or not because Chuck is in LA. So we'll see. I've done one of these live before and it was kind of stressful, but we'll see. That was the field medic one. It was great though. It was fun. But we're going to cover Pass Like Pollen, which I fucking love. It's just like, it's kind of some straightforward indie rock and it's amazing. I love that record. So super excited to cover that. Chuck is great. And that's it. Cool. Well, I'll see you all next Saturday at noon Pacific for another listen along. If it makes any sense to you, I'm going to be wrapping up like season 1 of this, like right before we go on tour. So just know, like, I mean, I'm not going to do these during tour and then I'm going to start back up after that, but excited for it. Have a good week, everybody. And thank you again to Nightlife for being here. Hansel, Julian, and Isaiah.
Thank you.
I think we're going to raid someone. We might raid someone. It depends on if Jonas is the one who takes care of that. So I'm going to go to the outro screen and we might raid someone, which just means like we're going to send our Twitch chat to someone else. Maybe we'll raid Germa because Germa's doing a cool stream right now. I don't know. We'll see. All right. Bye, everybody.